Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and this is yet another edition of my For My Students video series. And the first thing I would like to do in this particular video is to welcome everyone back to school. And as my channel has clearly illustrated, education is a very important thing. Or need I remind everyone of the name of Andy Pudser? And if you don't know who Andy Pudser is, you can take a look at a previous video of mine which discusses everything about Andy Pudser. Then you'll clearly comprehend what I'm discussing in this particular video. Now, the second thing I would like to do is to welcome everyone who has been facing eviction, starvation, and bullyism to this YouTube channel. You have definitely come to the right place. And this education you are receiving on this particular channel is going to assist you in getting out of eviction, starvation, and bullyism. Because who wants to flunk out of school due to bullyism? Remember, if you flunk out of school, you don't get a job. If you don't get a job, well, that keeps the economy in the tank. And that is definitely something I thought about when I created this channel back in 2009. So I welcome you guys here 100%. I'm thrilled you're here. I'm delighted you're here. I'm glad you're learning from me. And you keep right on doing it, because that's exactly why I designed this channel. Now, there is another group of people that actually do watch my videos. They have just now gotten themselves out of bullyism. They have just now found themselves a job. They don't have to worry about eviction or starvation. Well, I want you to continue watching my videos until those kind of things are a thing of the past. You don't ever have to worry about them again. That's exactly why I designed this YouTube channel, and I welcome you here, and I hope you continue to learn from me. But there is yet another group of people that watch me, and it's a small group, but it needs to be addressed. Now, some of these people have become complacent. What that means is that they now have the job they need. Their finances are finally back in order. They're not facing bullyism anymore. They've left all that far behind them. So, some of these people honestly think that I'm some sort of secret weapon. Well, I am a secret weapon for everybody. Not just for you, but for everybody. And the first thing that you can do to assist me and my channel as I continue educating all of you is to share my videos on Facebook. If they have benefited you, I'm sure they'll benefit other people as well. Now think about this. If you don't do stuff like that, there's a very good chance that some of these people that are facing eviction, starvation, and bullyism will start knocking on your front doorstep, begging you for food, begging you for shelter, and begging you for protection against bullyism. Do you want people banging on your door with requests like that? Of course not. Neither do I. So it is actually in your best benefit, or in your best interest, and is in my best interest as well. It's in my best interest to present these videos. It's in your best interest to share them on your Facebook page, or on your Twitter feed, or wherever else you can share this stuff. Remember, if you're helping them, you're also helping yourself. That's true. Now, another thing is that I have actually uploaded medical terminology videos. So why should you learn medical terminology? Well, for some of you, it's a job requirement, because many jobs are drying up, and so you have to pursue more intellectual jobs just to stay employed. And one of the things you can do is study medical terminology. You may not necessarily like it, but it could keep you employed for a good long time until you create your own dream job. Okay? Ask Barry Manilow about that. You should read his biography. You kind of get a sense of what I'm talking about, or what I'm discussing in this particular video, whichever way you prefer to hear it. Okay? But another good reason why you should learn medical terminology is because one of these days you may get sick. And if you do, you will seek out a physician. And then one of the first things the physician is going to do is rattle off a whole bunch of medical terms. Then he's going to try to comfort you in the best way he can. Would you like to know what he's saying as far as medical terms are concerned? Or do you want to just wait and try to look it up on some Google dictionary or wherever? Maybe you'll get out some physical dictionary in your house and look that up. Remember, 60% of the medical terms that you learn in medical terminology come directly from Latin. And one of the things I will be teaching on this YouTube channel one of these days is how to read and write Latin. So again, it is in your best interest to learn medical terminology. And I made the whole course inexpensive. And you'll see that for yourself. Now you say, well, there's hundreds of medical terminology videos all over the internet and they're totally free. They are. But I incorporate memory techniques into the medical terminology to help you remember it a lot faster, to memorize it a lot faster. That's what you get from me. So, my lessons are inexpensive, and more importantly, they're designed so that you will learn the information quickly and not have to waste a ton of time learning all that stuff. That's why I do it. So, it is really within your best interest to watch my medical terminology videos. And I don't know the exact procedures of YouTube Red, but from what I understood, and you guys are welcome to correct me on this, but from what I understood, if there are premium videos on a particular person's YouTube channel, and you have YouTube Red, you should be able to watch those videos for free. Now, I'm not sure if that's exactly the way it works, but that's the way I understood it. But if I'm wrong, you are more than welcome to correct me on that. Leave a comment below saying, hey, I have YouTube Red, and I wasn't able to watch it for free. Okay? But I'm really serious about this. I think you do need to know medical terminology. And one of these days I'll be presenting shorthand as well. And let me tell you something. Shorthand will come really in handy if you go off to college and you suddenly have to take a ton of notes. Then you can write them all in shorthand, and boom, there you go. So that is something I'm going to do on this YouTube channel in the not-so-distant future. Now, one of the things I've been doing lately, okay, is I've been creating the 4th installment of my medical terminology videos. And I'm going to work on that again tonight before I go to bed. It's been a slow process, but we're going to get back into it. Alright? And I divided it up into sections because there is so much material to cover. And it has taken me time, you know, well, I only have one good dry erase board, so I have to write everything out, and then after I'm done with my presentation, I have to erase everything and do it again, and again, and again. So that does definitely take me some time. Now, I saw the ratings on my Labor Day Parade video, and also my Razzle Dazzle Good Time Parade video. And I think you guys really should share that stuff with everyone. I think a lot of people would be very interested to watch all this stuff. And I have been very impressed with the ratings. And I will, again, videotape parades or whatever next year. I know I didn't get to every single parade this year, but there will always be next year. And as my ratings continue to rise, there you go. So, I have successfully made 3,700 videos over the course of, well, since 2009, so roughly 7-8 years, somewhere along the line. And right now, I have over 1,100 people that are watching me on a regular basis. I would like to build that up a little bit. I really would. So, anyway, I am well aware that there is a missing proof on my YouTube channel. A missing Euclid proof. It is Euclid Book 11, Proposition number 5, and at my earliest possible opportunity, I will draw that out, and I will show you how to do that. I am sorry about that. I thought I already had it up there. I apparently did not. But at my earliest possible convenience, I will post that up. So, anything else I'd like to say? Well, it is definitely September, and things are kind of slowing down for me as far as activities for the year. I will hopefully go to Carthage, Illinois next spring or next summer, somewhere along that line. I will also hopefully be able to go up to Galesburg, and if I get enough time or whatever, I may make it to Nauvoo and Dallas City to get their Looking for Lincoln signs. And that's another thing. I hope you guys share my Looking for Lincoln sign footage, because there's a lot of people in Illinois that simply do not know the whole story about the Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition. See what I mean? And so I think there would be a lot of people that would be very interested in seeing all this stuff. And I forgot about one other thing. The Relay for Life stuff, man, that kind of got messed up this year. They put up the mat at one particular location, and that's what I aimed the camera for, but then people started coming up behind me and going around me and going in a different direction, and that's why it looked a little awkward. Next year I will put the camera in a different spot, and hopefully that won't happen again. But I made one other mistake. My camera has a USB cord with a plug, so whenever there's no action at the Relay for Life, I usually go into the building, plug my plug in, and recharge my batteries before I have to make my next presentation. Well, I forgot to take the cord with me. Naughty naughty on my part. So I didn't get a chance to recharge my battery. And that was the end result. Okay. So there were 2 mistakes, and I do apologize for that. So, what's coming up for the future? Well, first of all, I would like to respond to this YouTube controversy in which they want to turn YouTube into Pixieland with their monetization system. Well, the thing is, you can objectively disagree with a person without insulting them. Okay? And so, therefore, if you're just being polite about everything, you really shouldn't have a problem with YouTube. Okay? It's only when you just flat out get out of hand that YouTube finally takes you down. And another thing is, I have successfully debated several things on this YouTube channel without once using an expletive. There is no reason to be using expletives for anything. Now you say, well, in real life, sometimes you do use expletives. Rarely. I try to avoid that like the plague, especially with brand new people. That's just something I just try to avoid as much as possible, because it actually lowers the value of your presentation. So you can reasonably debate somebody and maybe still get it monetized depending on what it is that you're trying to debate. So really, the big problem with these channels is that, number one, they're using expletives to try to make their presentation, which is a bad thing. They're trying to use copyrighted material to make their presentations, which I also think is a bad thing. And they are just being downright rude and arrogant to not big channels, which obviously those people can take it, but we're talking about little tiny channels that are just starting up. I don't believe in that. Now, I'm not going to let some 2-bit channel come over here and just rip me apart without defending myself, but I'm not seeking out every channel I can possibly think of and ripping them apart. It's only when they're a great big channel and they have a research team and the whole 9 yards, and yet they're coming up with the most ridiculous material I've ever heard of in my entire life, that's when I get involved. See what I mean? So, with YouTube trying to make it into Pixie World, I really don't think that they're going to demonetize every single disagreeing video. As long as it's presented fair and rational and reasonable and well thought out, debated arguments, rather than this extreme stuff that we see on some of these videos, I think you can still have a reasonable disagreement without losing your chance at monetization. You just got to be more reasonable. You got to think it out first. You got to be calm and rational when you make your particular presentation. And I think if you do that, I don't think you'll have any problems with YouTube. I rarely have problems with YouTube. I'm not saying that I never have had problems with YouTube, but I have not had that many problems with YouTube. And I think if you guys will follow the same pattern I do, I don't think you'll have problems with YouTube either. And another thing is that I also stay away from giant controversies. I go for the smaller ones. I go for the intellectual ones. And I think that keeps me on the air. But anyway, I will remind everybody that I am well aware that I did not post up a Euclid proof that I should have posted up. It is Euclid Book 11, Proposition number 5. As soon as I get a chance, I will sit down, I will draw it out, I will present it to you guys, and then you guys can have it. I will continue presenting Euclid proofs until I get all the way through Euclid Book 13. I will also finish presenting calculus. That is coming, so bear with me. Another thing you did not know, and those of you who have been watching me on Facebook have seen this, but there's a lot of people who have not seen this. I have been adding closed captioning to my Italian videos. And when I have added closed captioning to every single Italian video I have, then I will present new Italian videos. Why? Because I have forgotten some of the material. Once you don't use it for a long period of time, you do tend to forget some of it. It's like climbing on a bike after a long period of time. You will remember how to do it, but it might take you a couple of minutes to figure everything out. Well, this will be the same way. So I'm actually teaching myself Italian while I'm trying to get everything ready for you guys. You say, well, wait a minute. Don't you have those fancy memory techniques that's supposed to avoid? That works to a point, but if you haven't used the material for years, you do tend to forget. So, bear with me, folks. As soon as I get back into the swing of things, I'll present the rest of the Italian to you. And then we'll present Latin lessons, shorthand lessons. Let me tell you something. That shorthand is going to come in handy for you guys. Because you're going to be sitting in a college class one of these days taking notes, and I'll tell you what, taking them in shorthand is a lot easier than trying to write it all out. Even in cursive, that's not as easy. So there you go. But anyway, that's all I've got to say pretty much for this evening. I will tell you that I will be asking questions about Instagram photos, YouTube videos, the Kindle Kitchen. I want to tell you about that one as well. The people there are not the people I thought they were. And I made the erroneous mistake of trying to present their particular forum. I was trying to show you guys that that forum does exist, and you guys should check it out. The thing is that the people there are a little older than I thought they were, and they're not quite as interested in the fame aspect of being a forum than some of the other forums I've seen on Kindle or anywhere else. So, anyway, I did find another Kindle forum, and those people I will be addressing in future videos. So, bear with me on that one. Anyway, I will be reviewing Twitter feeds, YouTube videos, this other Kindle forum that I was telling you guys about. I will be reviewing parade videos, that kind of thing. So, all that's coming up. I know it's kind of dragging out, but I tell you what, we're entering into retail Christmas season, and so my schedule is going to be erratic at best. So, be patient with me. I will get the videos out. I know, I've covered a lot of material here. So, anyway, I would like to get back into Common Core and start presenting that. Wow. I think that's pretty much it. I know that I have... I'm going to show you this here. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to use it this year. This is a car mount that I should have had on my car. One of the things that I've run into is when I have the money to do things, I usually don't have the time. When I have the time to do things, I usually don't have the money. You would think eventually I'd figure out a way to have the time and the money at the same time. I haven't quite figured that out yet. But as soon as I do, I'll let you know. In the meantime, I hope you all have a great school year. I remind everyone to share my videos on Facebook, on Twitter, wherever else you could possibly share them. And it's as much for your benefit as it is for mine. Also learn that medical terminology. Get yourself a YouTube Red subscription. Watch my medical terminology videos. Or just watch them out straight out. I don't care. And the thing is that once you watch the video, you can actually keep a copy of it. Go ahead. So, but don't repost it as your own. That's naughty naughty. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this particular presentation. And I hope, like I said, you all have a good school year. And I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.